What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Sheehan Show here on Sherdog.com. And today I am looking ahead to One Championship's 163 card, which goes down over in the Singapore Arena on the 19th of November. An early one for me here at 10:30 a.m. in Ireland, 5:30 a.m. over in the United States. So a nice morning card here, and it's interesting because One Championship, I suppose, have been putting on back-to-back cards now for a while. So they have this one, 163, with the Amazon on 4 card as well. I will have a preview out for that, so make sure it might already be out at this stage, but have a look at that as well. 4 very, very interesting MMA fights, and not even more in this one, so we'll get into them. I feel like this is the first time now that the numbered card is better than the Amazon card. Now the Amazon card is pretty good as well, and some interesting fights. But I think from an MMA fan's point of view, I know Rodtang is on that as well. But from an MMA fan's point of view, I think this is a better card. 2 good cards, but this one is slightly better with the 8, I think it is. Did I count them right? Good few MMA fights, and anyway, very, very interesting. I think what is interesting as well, and it's maybe not the best thing for me in terms of my sleep, but they have changed it from Friday morning, Friday night cards to Friday night, Saturday morning. So it's probably easy for them, probably makes more sense. But for me, it's a 3 a.m. Friday night card, in then at probably like 7 a.m. and then it's a 10:30 a.m. start. So, my reviews are probably going to be Saturday evening rather than straight after the bell this time, just because, it probably makes sense. It probably makes sense from a logistical point of view and everything like that. From a viewer's point of view, I think it probably makes and definitely from a selfish point of view, it definitely makes. I think it's better the other way. Honestly, I do. I think it's a little bit better the other way. But still, having said that, I don't think many people are going to be complaining too much. Get up Saturday, watch both cards. Even is probably the way to do it, and watch the main parts, flick through all the all the talk and all, and get to the fights, which I love to do sometimes. But we're MMA fans as well here, MMA people, and staying up late is kind of a thing we have to do, especially if you live in my part of the world. But anyway, we will get through it, and we will enjoy it. And it's interesting with One Championship as well. As I said, they've been putting on these monthly cards now, and they have been they've been very, very enjoyable. We are in the November cards now, so November 18th to 19th. This one I'm talking about here is the 19th. Then we have Prime 5, which is on the 2nd, and 164 is on the 3rd of December, and then there's the break until January as well, so that's going to be on the January the 13th, and then we're February the 10th, February the 24th as well, and obviously I would assume they're going to keep doing the double cards. Maybe not, we will see on that one, but the One Championship on Amazon Prime cards are all set. So for January 13th, February the 10th, and February the 24th as well, coming around very, very quickly there. So I think that's good, because the UFC, there isn't loads of UFC on, I suppose, over Christmas and over that and things. And there's obviously the One Championship are taking that break as well, but I think it's good to have something to kind of look forward to, and good to have those cards set out. I always think when the UFC started doing that, I suppose years ago, when more, when they started signing more fighters and when they had more fights, I think having those set dates for, One Championship having now for like 5 months, I think that's very, very good, and it gives people time to plan, and it gives you time to look ahead, and it gives you time to kind of percolate on the cards before they actually come up. So I think that is a good thing. But first of all, 163. I'm going to break down the MMA fights obviously here today, but there are some very good kickboxing and other sort of fights on this as well. We have in the main event Hiroki Akimoto against Pechitong for the one's bantamweight kickboxing world championship. At heavyweight is then we have Azipur, who fought in a recent card, who was very, very impressed with against it's the final of the Grand Prix, and both of these lads fought recently. Roman Kralika, one big, tall, technical puncher against a very hard puncher as well in Azipur. Now I'm sure both are very, very hard punchers, but that should be fun. And obviously the main event as well, when you see the word bantamweight kickboxing, you're going to see speed and you're going to see fun in that one. So yeah, that should be interesting. and there isn't a whole lot more outside of the MMA in that. There are a couple more. Ashi Shinagawa at strawweight against Rui Bitolo. Then we have Bruno Chavez in heavyweight against Ahmed Krinic. I'm sure that'll be a backup for the heavyweight Grand Prix final as well. And there's a submission grappling match also. Menina Cori against Bianca Basilio out of Brazil. So interested to see all of that. But let's get into the mixed martial arts and break down some of these fights. And I'm going to start from the top and go down. Shinya Aoki against Saygid Izagakhmaev. I've spoken a lot about Saygid recently. He's fought a couple of times and I've been very, very impressed with him. This is a bit of a mad fight. I'm looking forward to the betting coming out for this, and I will have a few bets on my betting show. I feel like I won't have a bet in this one because I think I know who's going to be a favourite, and I think I know who's going to be a big favourite here, and I think that's going to be Saygid. Look, Shinya Aoki's been on a good run over the last while, apart from the last one where he fought Sexyama and kind of, you know, almost took him down, got his back, almost got the choke, and then kind of just, you know, gave away the fight and got punched once, and kind of that was it. But, you know, Shinya's a mad joke. for being honest, he'll take on all comers at all weights. Now this is back down at lightweight, but you know, lightweight, welterweight, whatever it is. And Saygid is a very, very strong, tough, big guy as well. But what Shinya does have, and we all know it, and I've great respect for him. When I say mad, I mean that as a compliment. Very good takedowns. I think underrated takedowns. Unbelievable submissions. Will break your arm in a second. He's nasty. You know, his transitions on the ground are unbelievable. He'll clinch from any position. You know, okay, not the best striker in the world. Definitely doesn't like to defensively strike, if you want to put it that way. Doesn't like getting punched all that much. I don't think you can blame him, to be honest. But the ground is where he wants this fight. The ground is where he wants this fight, and he'll be trying to get it there, and he'll be trying to jump all over Saygid throughout this whole fight. Will he be able to do that? I suppose we will see. For MAgalhaes, you know what? And he's another one of these guys. You watch him. Sometimes he fights southpaw. You watch him other times he fights orthodox. But wherever he fights, and you watch him other times he switches stances. He always switches stances, to be honest. But he looks good wherever he fights. He really, really does. Has a beautiful jab from orthodox. I really love his jab. I'm not sure, but I would guess he's left-handed because he throws that jab so well from the orthodox. But he's just a solid, straight-up striker to start it out. We'll get to the rest after that in a second, but very, very good technical striker, fast with the counters, really fast. Throws that left hook, leading if someone comes in. But then the wrestling comes, and he's a lovely double leg when people come forward. Again, I compare him a little bit. I was talking about Christian Lee on the other card as well, and in the other preview you'll see for this. You know, sometimes you see guys and they're a little bit athletically better than other people, and they have the strength and technique with it, where you see like they grab a hip with their left hand and you just know they're going to take you down. You know, they just grab onto that hip, they slide around. Chael Sonnen used to be very, very good with it. They run through you, they turn, they take you down. That's what Saygid is. Just so good at that. Just so good at that. You know, coming out of Dagestan, you know what that means. His pressure on top is so good. Goes for submissions as well, though. Big ground and pound. The one thing I would say with him, and a lot of the, you know, Habib did this as well, but it worked pretty well for him. He does give a bit of space on the ground, because he loves kind of dominating. It's not good enough for Saygid to kind of take the fight to the ground and just kind of lay there, even though he is very heavy and very, very good on top. He dominates on top and he lands big shots on top, and as I said, he goes for the submissions. That will leave a bit of an opening for someone as good as Shinya Aoki on the ground. Now, will it be enough of an opening? Will he be, you know, will he have enough fight in him, I suppose, if he's taken 5 or 6 big shots from Saygid on the ground to kind of look for and take that opportunity. I suppose that remains to be seen as well. But look, you can look at these two lads and not think that Izagakhmaev is the massive favourite here. He has to be. He's a better striker. He's a better wrestler. He's very, very good on the ground. Like, if it turned into a straight jiu-jitsu matchup, absolutely, Shinya Aoki. And like, Shinya is dangerous. Is there a world I see where Saygid takes him down and Shinya catches him in armbar? Absolutely. His transitions are really, really, really good. Really good. And that makes it an interesting fight. Because if you're in Saeed's corner and you're making a game plan for him, you're probably thinking, right, look, keep this fight standing, beat Aoki there. You can beat him there, hit him with a few shots and maybe finish him. And I have a feeling it will end that way, to be honest. I have a feeling it could be like 90-second type of fight where Izagakhmaev knocks out Shinya Aoki. But also, if it doesn't turn into that and Shinya is the one who is instigating the grappling, I think maybe Saygid is probably better off to do that first, because you don't want Shinya instigating the grappling, jumping on your back, taking the back. You don't want that. Like, so I think Saygid might be the one who he will strike first and he'll try to win that if Shinya has the ability to get close. I don't think he will allow that to go on for too long, and I think he will wrestle himself. Take away, like, what you want when you're fighting someone like Shinya Aoki, you want to take away the variance. You want to take away the madness. And by how do you do that? You take him to the ground, you put him there, and you keep him there. And I feel like Saygid will do that if the striking doesn't go well. But look, I give Shinya Aoki the grappler's chance. But after that, no, I think Izagakhmaev, I think massively of him. I think very, very highly of him. I think he's a very, very good fighter, and I think he will win this. You know, he's only 2 losses in 23 fights. You know, Shinya Aoki, am I looking, he's around 47-10 or something like that? That's a massive record, unbelievable. But yeah, that's how I think that fight will go. Anyway, then in middleweight, a very, very interesting fight. I suppose a fight that no one thought they would see, but Aung Sang against, and I always butcher his name, even though he's a very, very good fighter, against Yushin Okami. I think, look, if you look at Aung Sang's recent fights, wrestling has been an issue for him, and look, it's always been, I suppose, an issue for him. His last fight against Big Dash, he took him down immediately, and anyone who's watching Yushin Okami, you know, he's fighting the UFC and fought all over the place. That's the way the Yushin Okami fights. You know, he goes in there, he tries to take you down immediately. And will that be the case here? We'll talk about Yushin Okami, I suppose, in a second again, but just to run through kind of the rest of, I suppose, the game of Aung Sang. When he does get taken down, very good guillotine. Very, very, very good guillotine. But he wants to keep the fight standing. He's an accurate striker. Very good uppercut. That straight right, I think Michael Chivella said that he calls it the steel pipe. That's his main weapon. He loves that right hand, whether it is the uppercut, but the straight right as well is his main weapon. Throwing more kicks recently. He's training over in Sanford MMA now, I think. He loves fighting at a slower pace, which goes for him and goes against him. It's how he gets inside, but it's also how he kind of gets taken down. And when look, there's 2 ways of looking at it, and unfortunately, I think for him, when he fights the slower pace and he lands his shots, I think he can be set up by very, very good wrestlers, or set upon, if you want to put it like that, by very, very good wrestlers. But in fights where he ups that pace and when he goes forward and he throws shots, I think he leaves himself open for the takedown as well. So it's a real catch-22 for him. I think he's almost better fighting that kind of the Yoel Romero game, just kind of waiting for the big shot, and trying to get the big knockout. And he does that. He honestly does that, and it works for him. Because he carries power late as well. And he's the type of guy, you know, some people get taken to the ground and they give up and that's that. But Aung Sang is not like that. He is not like that at all. He never gives up for a second on the ground. Always fine, as I said, he attacks with that guillotine when he can. He often looks tired late, but he still carries that power and still keeps going. And that's going to be the thing here, I think. Look, Yushin Okami, the southpaw, I would say an okay to good technical striker. Doesn't carry massive power or anything like that, but a good jab, good go forward, you know, a little bit of a Damien Maya type maybe, where he doesn't have explosive striking, doesn't have amazing striking, but if you put him into a boxing match, you know, against someone who's never boxed before or something, he'll look good. You know, I think he can technically strike, but wrestling is still number one for him. Still number one. I talked about clinching earlier. He is a kind of a clinch and takedown type of guy. Has the takedown in the middle of the cage as well. Has the double leg, you know, very, very, very effective with it when he can get it. But look, we see more and more in MMA these days that the double legs aren't working. So to have the clinch is a very, very good thing. The one issue I would say with that is Aung does get taken down a lot in the middle of the cage, and it is the big double leg that he uses. Now, okay, as I said, Okami has that and he can break it out, but also with Okami, most of his takedowns are in the clinch and obviously against the cage. But that's, I don't see Aung getting taken down there all the time. I have seen him a couple of times, but he's a strong guy. Like he is built well, you know. He's built like myself, I can say that. He's a strongly built guy and not easy to take down. Built as the great Jimmy Smith used to say, built like a fire hydrant. And to take him down against the cage is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So that's an interesting part, because like I can see a world where Yushin Okami tries to take him down against the cage, fails, Aung pushes the fight back out and then lands big shots and gets a knockout. And honestly, that's kind of how I see the fight actually maybe happening. But Okami's not as fast as he once was. Look, as I said, when he gets the fight to the ground, really strong on top, loves to get the fight to the back. I think Yushin Okami, remember he got kind of cut from the UFC because everyone, they were like, the UFC were saying he was boring and all of this. Yushin Okami is a very exciting grappler sometimes. When he does look to get the fight to the back a lot. He does look to get his jiu-jitsu working. And I think if he does get the fight to the ground, I think it's going to be a very, very tough night for Aung. But I just think that speed diminishing a little bit for Okami was going to be the factor here, because you need speed, I think, to beat Aung. I really, really do think you need that speed, because he's not the fastest in the world. And if you're at a similar pace to him, he's more used to fighting at that pace. And he has that power. And he has the ability to, you know, keep you up if you push him against the cage, if you can take him down in the middle of the cage. And he will land strikes. And he will carry that power late. So, you know, maybe Okami should be the favourite here. I don't know. Look, if this was Okami 7 or 8 years ago, no doubt about it, I'd be picking Okami here. But I don't think he's the same guy. And I think Aung, even though he might get taken down a couple of times, I think he's going to carry that power. And I think he's going to land a big shot and get the knockout here. Maybe my favourite fight of the night is the next one. Atomweight bout between Itsuki Hirata and Seo Hee Ham. Hirata, she has had a couple of very interesting fights recently on One Championship. A couple of very, very close ones as well. In my opinion, the last fight against Lin Hei Quinn, I don't think she won it. She won the unanimous decision, but in my opinion, she didn't win that fight. But having said that, I think Lin is very, very good, and I think Hirata is very, very good as well. But this is a real style clash of a fight. Hirata, very strong, very good fundamental fighter, looks for the takedowns. The one thing I would say, and I've said this about her before, but she throws too many straight kicks to the body, which get caught and she gets taken down. That's going to be an issue here as well. If she does that, has a lovely straight right hand. Likes the kind of low double legs, ankle picks you down. Yeah, I suppose picks you down is the way of saying it. The biggest issue for her, we saw it in the last fight as well, needs to be more varied, needs to do more things, different things. Doesn't throw a lot, but when she does, I think she's a very good fundamental fighter. Good fundamental takedowns, good fundamental striking and all of that. Seo Hee Ham is the exact opposite of that. She is fast-paced, southpaw, goes at it, hammer and tong from the very start. Watching a couple of her fights yesterday, just at it and at it and at it. Good takedown defense, but opens up a bit too much at times. And when you do that, it's impossible to stop the takedown. And if she does that and Hirata goes for the takedown, I think she will take her down. Now, Seo Hee Ham, very good in transitions. I would say better than Hirata in the transitions, but Hirata's good at not allowing the transitions to happen, if you get me, because she's so strong on top. Ham throws lovely elbows on the ground. But you look at her, it's like a tornado or a cyclone or something like that when she starts. But when that ends, she isn't as good of a fighter. And if that happens, right, if she can't have a massive advantage, I suppose, and we know one championship is scored as well as a full fight rather than round by round, which I think will be an advantage to Seo Hee Ham, because if she can land like get a big cut or land a big knockdown or something early, she can win the fight based on that. And I think that's, as I said, that suits her because she gets tired. And you know what she turns into? And not even tired necessarily, but when that tornado wins, she turns into like this square striker. And if she does that against Hirata, she's going to get boxed up fundamentally. You know, Hirata doesn't throw loads, as I said, but she's going to get taken down as well. It shortens her jab. It allows people inside for those takedowns when that fight happens. And that's, to me, when this fight turns from... It's going to be exciting, because Seo Hee Ham won't allow this not to be exciting. It's going to be exciting for the first 1, 2, 3 minutes, maybe round and a half even, if it goes that. But then it's going to turn into a fight where it turns into like a technical matchup between the two of them, and I think that's where Hirata kind of takes this over. The problem with that is, if that happened in the UFC or Bellator or whatever, Hirata could win, 3 minutes of the second round, win the third round, and win the fight. This one, Seo Hee Ham might be too far ahead in terms of the fight scored as a full. She could win the first 4 minutes of the fight. Hirata could win the next 2 rounds in the last minute of the first round and still lose, because that's the way one championship is scored. Now, we can, that's a debate for another day whether we agree with that or not, but that's the fact of the matter. So I think it's a very interesting fight. I just wonder if Hirata would be thinking about that, because she should be, and maybe looking for more takedowns early, because you do not want to let Seo Hee Ham get that tornado blowing. You do not want that happening, because if she is allowed to prosper in that, she will land big shots, she will hurt you, she will put you down if she can, and then it'll change. Now, if she finishes you, she finishes you. If she doesn't, it'll change. A very interesting fight. Look, to give you my pick, I'd probably go for Seo Hee Ham based on the scoring system, honestly. I probably will. But I think Hirata can win this fight. But it's very interesting. I honestly, I like my breakdown of that fight. I just gave there. I think that's exactly how it's going to go. And I think it'll be a close one. And probably a contentious decision. There you go. Right, the next fight. Interesting again. Kwon O'Neill against Abelardo. Watched a bit of Abelardo. He fights out of New Zealand via the Philippines as well, and he's an interesting fighter. Very, very interesting fighter. He likes to hold the center and just throw punches. Not too concerned with defense, not too concerned with getting hit, not too concerned with getting kicked. Anything. He just fights. He just fights his own game. You can kick him from the outside and he won't react. You can punch him from the outside, he won't react. He's the type of guy, he's kind of, I wouldn't say easy to clinch, but you can clinch him. But God almighty, he is dangerous with power. Just fearless. Fearless. He's like, I don't know. It's like he doesn't feel pain or something. he's just one of these guys. He's like he's like the Terminator or something. The Terminator would be a great nickname for him, actually. Mark Abelardo. I've never seen a fighter like him. It's unbelievable. Then for Ill, I suppose he's tall, throws lots of teeps. He fights very, very long, and he fights with pressure. Is a really effective hook on the inside. Lovely body puncher as well. Not the best takedown defense in the world. And I wonder will Abelardo maybe try to go for a takedown. But look, both of these guys want to go forward. I'm not sure how you can push Abelardo back with pressure, honestly. He just will not allow it. Unless you hurt him, unless something big happens. It's going to be really tough. Now, this is the type of fight I want to see just to see what happens in it. I think all around, Kwon O'Neill is a better fighter. I really do. I think he's a better technical fighter. He's more varied. He's more well-rounded. He's as I said, more technical, more. He's maybe doesn't have the power or the strength advantage, but better all around fighter. But you can't rule Abelardo out just because of the fearless nature in which he fights. And unless he gets knocked out, he'll be there. He'll be there from second one until minute 15. And it makes for a very, very interesting fight. Who'll win it? I'll go for Kwon 1-0, but without much surety at all, to be honest. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about the flyweight bout first for Yuya Wakamatsu against Woo Sung Hoon. Yuya obviously has been around now for a while over in One Championship, and he's a very good fighter. Look, he's come up short, I suppose, in Demetrius Johnson and Adriano Moraes fights, but has beaten lots of the other good guys around there, the likes of Reese McLaren and others as well. Woo, just past, I suppose, he's 10 fights. Beat Y2K, just absolutely. Actually, I watched that fight yesterday. Absolutely decimated him, knocked him out in 18 seconds or something like that. Lost to Whitson Ramos last time out. So both of these lads, I suppose, fighting to get back towards title contention. Wakamatsu, he's training out of Sanford at the moment. Lovely body lock takedown, lovely leg kicks, feints very well. Moves well defensively with his hands down. He's another one of these kind of pressure counter fighters, presses you against the cage, tries to counter you, lovely 1-2s, just insane speed. Like, this is the type of guy where you put him in there against Demetrius Johnson and he doesn't look outmatched for speed. Just unbelievable. His speed of his leg kicks as well. I've said that in a previous preview, but I'll say it again. Just really, really good high lead hand. His biggest issue, I suppose, he does eat shots head in the air sometimes. Woo Sung Hoon then, and I describe him an active lead striker, in terms of active, maybe is the wrong word, but he actively leads, but to me he doesn't throw enough combinations. When he does, they're brilliant. He's so fast, good speed combinations, but he throws one punch at a time too much. Better when he throws those combos. But you know what he has as well? And one thing I love, lovely double jab, just pop. Absolutely lovely. Does leave himself open to takedowns, which against Wakamatsu is going to be a big issue, but that power he has is just so good. And I feel like you look like you absolutely smash Y2K in seconds, but look, why does he throw one punch at a time? Because he wants to land that power punch. He wants to just, as I say, he's good feints as well. He wants to throw those feints. He wants to land that power punch over the top to knock a guy out. But against Wakamatsu, I think you're going to need to do a little bit more than that. I think you're going to need to be a little bit more intelligent about it. And you know what? I think he will be. I think he will be a little bit more intelligent about it. I think he will try to come in with more combinations in this fight than he has before. But and there's a second reason why he needs to do that. Because if he doesn't do that, he'll leave himself way more open for a takedown. Now, we talked about it before that. Look, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place sometimes. If you don't throw enough, you're open for a takedown. If you throw too much, you're open for a takedown as well. Talked about that with Aung and Sang. And honestly, that rock and hard place is somewhere I actually don't think Hoon can actually overcome in this fight. And that's why I think Wakamatsu will win. I do think he will get a takedown here. Haven't seen that power in the Y2K fight. I don't think he'll be messing around striking here. As I said, very fast and very good on the outside, so he can for a while. But I do think he will try to draw out that from Hoon. And if he does draw out those combinations, I think he will get the takedown and put the fight on the ground. I think Wakamatsu will win this, and that's how I do think he will win it. I think he could outstrike him as well, but Woo Sung Hoon is just so much power that I wouldn't advise it. But let's see how it happens. Right, there is two more fights left, and we will run through them here. Ahmed Mujtaba against Abraao MAgalhaes from Brazil. Ahmed throws straight down the middle with big power. That's what you need to know about him. Last fight, he fought Raju and knocked him out in seconds. I wouldn't say he's the best defensive striker in the world. He's an okay jab, but it's really his power is on the feet is what he wants. Wrestling is what he wants first, though. No, he wants to land that big power shot to get to the wrestling. Get the knockout, but to get to the wrestling. Very good head pressure, very calm. Fights a slower pace than his opponent, which we'll get to in a second, but lovely trips. And as I said, he does, he's the type of guy who gets his head into your chest on the ground and stays there. Very, very good there. MAgalhaes on the other side. He likes to wait on the outside and absolutely sprint inside with right hands. And what I've written in my notes here, and it's really, really true with him, he likes to cause a collision. He's a car crash of a fighter. Just loves to cause that collision. Looks for the takedowns then post collision. And on the ground, 3rd degree BJJ black belt. He takes his time, sets up subs, does take shots on the ground because of that. And that's an interesting thing here against Ahmed, who will be looking to probably land a few if he gets the opportunity. MAgalhaes, very heavy ground and pound, loves do you know what he loves? He loves a neon belly. An absolute, when he gets there and when he gets someone hurt, just animalistic ground and pound. Just so good with his ground and pound. So a very, very interesting fight there. Two guys who are going to be looking to get the fight to the ground or land a big right hand to get a knockout or to get it there. I think MAgalhaes will win. I think he's a better grappler, but not with much assurity. I think this is good matchmaking. I think it'll be very interesting. And the last fight in on the card, Kirill Gorobets fighting out of the Ukraine, taking on Bruno Pucci. I believe Pucci is Angela Lee's partner, if I'm not mistaken. So we have this weekend Angela Lee's brother and partner fighting, and she only fought a couple of weeks ago, so it's a family affair over the One Championship. But he is all about the takedown. He absolutely barrels forward. Rarely gets it when he barrels forward, but keeps after it. Chain wrestling. Not the greatest striker in the world from what I've seen, but heavy top game. Very good shoulder pressure, very good hip pressure. Always looking to pass, always looking for submissions. Brilliant on the ground. Absolutely brilliant on the ground. And he will be hoping to get the fight there. Gorobets, on the other hand, switch stance fighter, mostly out of the southpaw. Hits hard. Throws very hard, and when he lands it hits hard. Lovely body kicks, lovely spinning kick, a power wrestler as well. I wouldn't say he's as dominant on top as Pucci. Leaves space for himself and others, which gives submission opportunities, I think, to both guys, but you don't want to do that against Pucci here, I don't think. Look, if the fight stays standing, I think Gorobets will have a big advantage. If it hits the ground, I think it depends who gets on top. If Gorobets gets on top, I think Pucci will still have a chance on the bottom with arm bars and different things, but I think he'll be good on top. I think if Pucci gets on top, I think he'll submit him. I really, really do. Honestly, I don't know who's going to win this fight. I really don't know. I've kind of gone back and forth, and look, I'll give my pick as Pucci. I'll give it to him. Maybe he'll be able to get a submission. I usually don't back based on submissions, but I will give it to him here. By the time maybe the betting show comes out or anything like that, maybe I'll have changed if there's a good price at this. But yeah, on that, I'll go with that. So yeah, that's it now in total. A lot of MMA fights in that, a lot to break down, and hopefully I did it well. Let me know in the comment section which fight are you most looking forward to. Which MMA fight are you most looking forward to? Are you looking forward to the grappling and kickboxing and that as well? Let me know in the comment section below. Please give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and all of that. And I'll leave it there. My name is Sheehan for Sherdog.com, and I'll see you all next time.